you're listening to the Mackay T Show podcast. Here are your hosts, Brian Mackay and T Davis.
This is the Mackay T Show. This is the Mackay T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brian Mackay and T Davis. Yeah, you can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mackay T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mackay T Show.
Welcome back to the Mackay T Show podcast. T, the first round is off and running in the NBA playoffs. Got a couple of upsets already and a couple of near upsets. Cleveland just barely escapes Indiana, 109-108. Indiana had a chance to win it in the end. CJ Miles winds up taking the jumper, misses it, and the talk after the game is Paul George was up, and you could see it on the floor. He was visibly upset that he wasn't the one that got the last shot. Clearly, they were trying to get him the ball, but obviously Cleveland knew that because they had their whole team guarding him, and C.J. Miles was wide open. So,
look, you gotta be a team player sometimes and be the decoy.
Yeah, I mean, Michael even was, the decoy many times, even in the NBA Finals with John Paxson and Steve Kerr hitting game winners.
Okay, first of all, Michael was not the decoy on those. Michael had the ball, was double teamed, and kicked out.
Listen,
that's definitely not the same. Stop your untrue lies. We ain't gonna lies. Stop your lies.
It was decoy. He could have took that shot if he wanted to take that shot. He was a decoy.
If you got the ball in your hand, you're not a decoy. He just made the decision. I'm going to pass because he is wide open.
Because he's the greatest player ever, and he's smart like that.
Okay, greatest ever.
Moving
Come
on.
here, Bill Russell.
Moving
with your
on.
11 championships.
Moving on. Toronto Raptors. Get defeated by the Milwaukee Bucks, 97-83. Toronto, and you spoke on this on our last show about how, you did your chanting and ranting about how they ended the Indiana Pacers game with a little bit of anger.
I think I could see.
A little frustration. Well, their frustration continued, and there was a couple of little scuffles in this game as well. Milwaukee came out, and I said this, they got a bunch of young pieces, and when they come together, they're going to be special. They came out and showed you what they could be. They played well. Giannis Antetokounmpo was, his usual great self.
Yeah, how long did you practice saying that? Before the contest?
I've been practicing that name for a while because I knew eventually he was going to be something. I'm going to have to say his name at some point. So, I've been practicing that for a while. I said I can't keep calling him the Greek Freak because eventually I'm going to have to say the boy's name, give some respect.
Well,
put some respect on his name.
Toronto in trouble. Because they're not that good, and they don't need to be getting behind the 8 ball. There's a lot of people in trouble. I know this game won. All the NBA people always say when you lose your first home game, that's when the series started. Well, Toronto, the series has started for you. And Boston, you're on the clock.
Yeah, speaking of Boston, I'm going to be honest with you, as much of a Bulls fan as I am, I was pulling for Isaiah Thomas to have a good game. Late Saturday, it came out that his younger sister, had died in a car accident. He was, obviously they showed him before the game in the warm-ups. He was visibly upset. It's kind of, he kept saying he was going to play, but, the big story was whether he was going to be, not that he wasn't going to play, but whether he was going to be effective at all. Excuse me. And he had a good game, but you can just tell the emotion of the moment. His team came out trying to play for him. They kept it close throughout.
He probably should have just sat out. They probably would have did better without him out there. And just been like, we're going to win this for our team. And at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, you can make your own decisions, but you like some things you can just use basketball to tone out. But that just happened so close to the game, and she's 22 years old, which means he was a big brother. Did you see the car?
No, I didn't.
Oh Lord, I don't even know how the car got up over that little railing, but crazy stuff happened. But as soon as I read it, I was like, she fell asleep. Because the witnesses were like, they had saw the car just start to veer off to the side and then hit the wall. And her car crashed into like a pole. Which is, I'm happy she didn't kill nobody else. I mean, not that I'm, saying that like she dead, but she could have killed other people. People, stop driving when you sleep. I've done it, but I know better now. And not just because of this, but I've been sleeping instead of just pulling over. Just tough it out, but just don't do it.
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to look it up. I didn't want to even see it, but yeah, it's a sad situation, and hopefully, at some point, they're gonna have to have a funeral for the girl. So, no matter seeing how you never know how long they're gonna go in the playoffs. So, at some point, we'll probably have to deal with that. Him having to deal with a funeral. The team's gonna want to have representatives there.
Yeah.
Sad situation. Washington defeated the Atlanta Hawks 114-107. This is pretty standard. Pretty much what we both said was going to happen. John Wall, Bradley Beal both had very good games. They go too much for Atlanta. I think this is going to be
Well, I don't know, but I was laughing because Millsap said this is the NBA, not MMA. So I don't know what happened to bring that on, but I thought that was hilarious.
Oh man, speaking of MMA, or if you just want to be physical play, last night I know you didn't see it. I know even if you could, you were sleeping at this point because this game was so late in the evening. But the Rockets and Thunder, there was a moment, and I love the way Patrick Beverly plays. He just gets up in you. He's like a little gnat that just irritates the mess out of you. And he did that to Russell Westbrook the entire game. And there was a moment where Steven Adams for Oklahoma City went to set a pick. And when he set a pick on Beverly, he set a pick. And I hope that Beverly is alive and well this morning because I was ready to pronounce him dead. And I know he lost a few teeth. Because that was the hardest screen, and he ought to be all over his teammates this morning if he is alive.
No, call the
screen, because that was ridiculous. That hurt me watching. It was nasty. Houston wound up winning that first game, 118-87, and they just got too much firepower for Oklahoma City.
Well, I was reading an article which probably makes good sense. That game probably helped, which they probably have already, or I read that they've already voted on MVP. We just won't know till later. But that game proves to you that Westbrook don't have a team, and he should get MVP for what he was able to do with the scrubs that he playing with. And I use the word scrubs, Luke, because they are in the NBA.
Right. Let's see. San Antonio. There ain't much to say about this game. San Antonio and Memphis, they pretty much led throughout, and they showed you why Greg Popovich is the best coach in the game for the way he handles his team throughout the season. Because I know I didn't see this coming. I thought Memphis would at least give them a game. It was a blowout from the jump. But,
Memphis, they'll win 1 or 2. They're gonna lose that series.
Oh yeah. Out west in Golden State, Yeah, them against the Trailblazers. Portland, I will say this: Portland played probably about as good as they could play. And my dad even made a comment to me. He said he don't know who has the best backcourt in this game because Portland's backcourt with Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum they were pretty impressive.
Yeah, but tell your dad to stop it. He know who got the best backcourt in that game. Now they had a good game, and let's let that be that. Dad, you hear me? Stop it right now. And I mean it. Now, as we finish this, we done.
As we finish this, we done. Oh goodness. And in the last series in the Western Conference, you had the Clippers and the Jazz. 2-point game wound up being a nice little finish. Utah took the game one. I'm telling you, Utah's gonna win this series. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but Utah's gonna win this series, and then all you're gonna hear about is it time to bust up the Clippers? Is it time to bust them up, move them on, move Blake Griffin? Can we get Carmelo out there? That's all you're gonna hear about for the next few months.
I don't know. I'm concerned that the Lakers might try to make a run for Carmelo. I don't know what to say. I don't care about the Clippers, you know that, but I thought we talked. Didn't we both think that Utah was gonna win?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so we on the right track.
Yeah. Yes, we did. Yeah, but the games, I will say this, except for the San Antonio-Memphis games, all the games have been pretty competitive. The Houston-Oklahoma City score looks like it was, but it was a competitive game. Just, fell apart at the end. But yeah, all the games so far have been really competitive. It's per the course with today's NBA. The regular season means nothing. They start playing hard in the playoffs. And, that's how it goes. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes moving forward. But yeah, so I'm glad that the games are at least competitive. Moving on to the TV shows. Shots Fired, the latest episode is. I love how they're doing this. They don't just call them episode 1, episode 2. They're calling them hour 1, hour 2, hour 3, and this latest one was hour 4. And I like how they're breaking it down like that. Makes you feel like you're in the middle of the investigation with them, I guess. Last week's episode saw Ash and Preston trying vigorously to get the Joey Campbell murder investigation reopened because they're convinced that investigation coincides with the one that they're on with the black officer that killed the white kid. They're convinced that they are intertwined some way, somehow. While that's going on, the governor is trying to open up her education reform, and she is using Joey Campbell's brother, Sean, as kind of an example on what she wants. And what she's wanting right now is while they're trying to fix the inner city school, she's wanting those kids, like Sean, who is a very bright kid, to be bussed out of the inner city into the, quote unquote, predominantly white school, outside. You could tell Sean not really wanting to go for it. His mama basically had to just start bawling, crying, just to get him to understand that she wants this for him, wants a better life for him. I like how they could have gone another way. They could have gone a way where he gets off the bus at the school and he could have been met with a bunch of jeers and racial epithets, things like that. But he wasn't. This white kid walks up to him with a box of shirts, puts the box down in front of him, takes out a shirt and hands it to him, like welcoming him to the school. So I thought that was a good moment. It's not going to always be that way, I'm sure, but it was a good way to introduce that situation into the TV show. As far as the investigation go, they finally found, I'm going to find the little kid's name that they've been looking for since he ran away. What was that boy's name? You remember?
Well, I don't remember.
Oh,
I'm terrible with names.
I know.
White boy. Go ahead.
No, it was the black kid that Preston kind of formed a little bit of a relationship with, but then the police ran him off. They was chasing him.
bike boy. He was on the bike when we filmed
Bike.
first.
Oh, I thought you said white boy. Bike boy. Got you. Corey. That's the name, Corey. So yeah, they find Corey, and they get Corey to tell him, what he knows about the Joey Campbell murder. And apparently, Corey saw 2 cops hold Joey Campbell down while another one shot him. So apparently, obviously, Ash and Preston get into this. They're trying to investigate this. Of course, they have no evidence to corroborate. They have no evidence as to this actually happened, other than just his word of mouth. But so they go to investigating more on that. I love the scene between Sanaa Lathan's character and Bill Paxton, who was the coach, and Remember the Titans, who was the sheriff of this police force. I love their scene together. You can just tell that he's going to be a nice antagonist throughout the rest of the season, and they're going to be going butting heads with each other.
Well, I need the lawyer guy from the DOJ to man up. Don't ask me to get out and help you with this fake police stop and then talking about pat him down. That's not my job. So he shouldn't never got out the car. Right. When he pulled up them guys trying to make a point how nervous you are when you pull somebody over or something.
Right.
But, dude, that ain't his job. I would have been like, okay, and just sit in the car. You can do whatever you need to do to them, but I'm about to sit right here.
Yeah, I understood the point he was making, but at the same time, I didn't understand. I was like, okay, yeah, no, this is not even my precinct. This is your people. This ain't got nothing to do with it.
He's not a cop. That man is a lawyer. Sanaa's character always say, I got a gun. He doesn't. He don't know anything about law enforcement. He know the laws because he's an attorney, and I'm sure has a JD.
And I'm sure there's probably a law against a lawyer just patting folks down like that. I'm sure there's...
And I was about to say, if you saw how he patted them down, I was like, I'm pretty sure that ain't how a pat down looked that I don't see. But go ahead, because you don't know what you're doing. This man shouldn't have you out here. But whatever.
What are your predictions going forward for the show? Where do you see it headed?
I have no idea where they're going with this. They don't put so many little... I do just like the fact, like they talk about prison and how that man wanted her to raise from 80% full prisons to 88%, and how that system is working and how those things come to be in people's cities. And I can't understand how you'll say, yeah, we can make sure that you have 80% of your jails full, which means you're going to have to throw people in jail illegally, like just for no reason.
Right.
Which I don't understand why anybody would be okay with that, but this is America, so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, blacks get the brunt of, yeah, we're going to throw y'all in jail as much as we can. Not that white people don't go, but, yeah.
Yeah, I do like this, they're showing the dynamic of it.
How the governor's relationships work, because she was working with him on that, but then she didn't agree, like, go up to 88%. But if you like 80%, dude, 80%, really? Really? But then again, you're going to have to throw people in jail for little minor offenses to make that happen. Or you're going to be paying, like the state going to have to pay for it. Because, every time you don't fill whatever quota, then the state has to pay them money. Which is ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Come on, America. That's what America does, not just this show. Like, we do that.
Officer Beck, I predict, and he's the one that shot the white kid, Jesse Carr, to start the show off. I think he's going to wind up working with Ash and Preston to come to some resolution. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, but I think he's going to be driven to a point because he's not liking being behind a desk right now and not out in the field with his, with his brothers in arms. He's struggling with, him and his wife are having problems at home just because of, just the struggle he's dealing with. He's got his little kid setting off his home alarm, going outside to see what the fracas is outside, and people are tagging his house. He just got a lot going on. I think eventually he's going to be pushed to a point where he actually works with Preston and Ash to get an answer on what's going on. But
yeah, he's gonna wind up having to leave.
Yeah, I don't know. I love that there's nothing predictable about where they're gonna go, because usually at this point, either you or I, we have some kind of an idea on where a show is headed. I don't have a clue, but I think that's gonna make me keep coming back every week.
We see that the head man bad. We know that. The other guy, who did he threaten? Was it Sanaa's character?
I think so.
He ain't looking on the up and up. Cause now he don't got Sanaa's file, so he about to try to do something. Cause he was looking at Sanaa's file at the end of the show, wasn't he? Was it the end?
Yeah, and I think they're doing that to throw us off. I think he's gonna wind up. They're making him look like a bad guy, but I think he's gonna wind up being good.
He's making himself look like a bad guy.
Well, yeah.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying it as far as the TV show.
I know.
Excuse me.
Good show, folks. Let's catch up. Not too late.
Yes.
No.
But moving on to a little bit of world news. We have a baby, and baby giraffe, that is. April, the giraffe, finally gave birth to her child. And this has been going on for far too long, and there's way too much else in the world to be worried about than a darn pregnant giraffe. But we have been watching this. An audience of over 1 million viewers.
I'm about to say, who are we? Because I saw the giraffe once, and then I was like, oh, okay.
And they have tuned in daily, waiting on this giraffe to give birth, and finally gave birth to a male this past Saturday at the New York Zoo, ending weeks of proverbial pacing by animal lovers in a virtual worldwide waiting room. That's from the article that I'm reading.
Can the animals get some privacy? Don't nobody want millions of people watching them give birth. Not even animals.
It's just amazing to me that this was something. I mean, people were actually all into this. Why?
Well, yeah, they thought it was a hoax. They said April Fools, they was going to be like, oh, it's not pregnant, ha, ha, ha. But the man was like, no, the giraffe is pregnant. It's just taking a little longer than they thought.
Well, yeah, I mean, the baby comes out and it's already 6 feet tall. I mean, that was the biggest child.
Did it do the wobble walk?
Oh, it took a minute. I was nervous for it, and sadly, I was watching this foolishness. But I was nervous for it, because it was, it wasn't real good on his feet. Obviously, it took a minute. Had the wobbly legs for the first time, but he got himself together. He became more steady as he went on, and eventually began nursing on his mother after that, which was good. Yeah.
Well, speaking of babies, you probably haven't seen this. This baby named Shahad Kumar in India.
Oh, Jesus.
Is 38 pounds.
I did see that.
The baby is 8 months old. Look like a Michelin tire baby. Got rings all on the arms, on the leg. That baby looks just like a Michelin tire baby.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And then the parents like they can't help it because she cry when you're not feeding her. So that means they just feed her all the time. She eat like a 10-year-old. She don't have to cry. But like she is way too big. This is crazy. And the doctor said they don't know why she hungry. They need to check her thyroid or something. I don't know. But thyroid don't have really much to do with appetite, I don't think. It may. I know, it can bother your weight.
And was I right when I read that the mother was huge too, wasn't she?
No, the baby was born normal and all. Everything was on the up and up. And then they just said she just would cry whenever you wouldn't feed her. So they kept feeding her.
How did she give birth to? I don't know.
Well, it wasn't that big. No, she wasn't that big when she was born.
Oh, okay. So I misunderstood.
And At 8 months, she done bloomed up to 38 pounds, but she was born like a healthy baby without complications. And then all of a sudden, they said, she cried when they wouldn't feed her. She cries whenever she is not eating.
Lord, I'm looking at this picture. She does look like the Michelin baby.
Michelin
tired. Yes.
They need to try to work something out with the Michelin people because they say they ain't had no money to try to figure out what's going on with them.
There's a plan right there. They need to call the Michelin folks because, okay, I see here. Yeah, it was 10 pounds on birth, but yeah, but due to craving food. Yeah, so you don't, yeah.
Like at this rate, at 8 months, in the next 4 months, she's gonna be like 50-something pounds. She won't even be able to walk across because she's gonna be too big.
Look at his mom. His mama trying to hold him. The baby bigger than the mama.
Look at the fingers.
Oh my
God. Look at the baby fingers.
Oh, jeez.
It just rings a bell.
The baby, that's why the mom and daddy so skinny, because the baby
eating everything. That's a myth. They need to let her cry. And I know you don't want to hear it, but if you fed her and she's been changed and she ain't wet, if she don't burp, hey, let her cry.
Yeah, just because she cries don't mean you have to feed her. Lord.
The only time she don't cry.
She must cry all the time. Look at this baby. Good night.
And she the size of a healthy 4-year-old. You hear me?
I'm not, yeah, you ain't lying. And
I mean,
whatever that is, whatever they got, I don't know what that is they got on her wrist, but they need to take it off.
They need to take it off before it gets stuck on there.
Yeah, because look at these arms, Jesus.
It's like 1, 2, it's 4 rings of fat. Then her hand is puffy.
I can't get over this picture.
It looked like people. Google it. People.
Somebody started GoFundMe page for these people.
Lord. Yeah. They need to get this necklace off her neck because the head big too. Then they mess around and can't get this stuff off of her.
Look, and you notice I ain't seen a picture with it having clothes on because it can't no clothes fit.
They can't. Any 2 or 3-year-old clothes gonna be too long because she can't fit in no 8 months. The clothes that fit are gonna be too long. I can't. This is crazy. Speaking of crazy, I'm sure we had some other word news. Facebook Live needs to be shut down.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
No offense, Facebook, but y'all can't control these crazy humans on Earth. This man allegedly don't shot somebody on Facebook Live. Now they looking for him. I can't. It's too much happening. People committing suicide on there. The boy accidentally shot himself in the head on Facebook Live.
Yes, when I saw that foolishness.
Maybe he wouldn't even have the gun playing with it if he couldn't go on Facebook Live. So something got to happen on Facebook Live. I don't know what, but that's just craziness.
Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't what it was intended for when they come up with that concept, but they just need to scrap it because it's too much ridiculousness going on in the world for that.
Amen. And not that it really matters because I think he killed somebody else, but allegedly. Hernandez got off for the double murder.
Not for the Olin Lloyd, for the other murder, correct? He's still serving for the Olin Lloyd murder.
Yeah. For the double murder, they thought he killed 2 people somewhere. The jury found him not guilty on that.
Yeah, I saw that. That was interesting. Oh, and Marshawn Lynch coming back.
Okay, well, did he lose some weight? Because you said he was chunky.
Yeah, he got big.
Or he working on losing it?
So, now he must be working out already because I saw him. They had him on one of the talk shows. They were showing him. TMZ jumped him at a airport somewhere. I think out in LA maybe. And they saw him, they went up to him, you know how he is about not wanting to be on camera, not wanting to be interviewed. So he knocks the phone out of the person's hand that was videoing. Yeah, and he looked back close to his normal self there. I don't know how he did it. He must have got on that, what's that man's name from Mississippi that went to Oklahoma and left Oklahoma and came back, and that preacher took all his money. They did the 30 for 30 on him.
I missed it. I don't know.
I can't think of that man's name. But yeah, so they did, and he winds up not even being eligible at USM because of taking funds or whatever from this preacher. But really, the preacher was taking all of his money, and so he tries out for the USFL. He winds up getting picked with New Orleans, and hurts his knee or something, and then he takes some time off, and he balloons up real big and gets another chance at the NFL. But he has to go and start working out, getting back in shape. He goes into this little workout shed, and he has like 3 or 4 heaters in there. It's in the middle of the summer. 3 or 4 heaters in there with him, and he sweats off a whole bunch of weight. Anyway, that long story short, that must have been what Marshawn did, because when I saw him during the football season this year at Cal, he was sitting in that golf cart, and he was taking over that golf cart. Big boy. Speaking of 30 for 30s, I didn't even get to bring this up. I forgot to bring this up, but I'm glad it just came to my mind. You're going to be happy. Hopefully no one has spoiled this. I hope, because I didn't want to tell you, because I wanted to bring it up on this podcast. But the next 30 for 30, of course, they just got through bringing out the one and not done about Coach Calipari and his, the way he embraces the one and done stigma, which was very good. But during that one, they showed the preview for the next one, which is coming out June 13th. Mark your calendars, people. We are going to have a 30 for 30 on the 1980s rivalry of the Lakers and Celtics.
Oh, shucks. So these young bucks can know that people was balling before Curry and all of them came along.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I don't want to tell T now because I wanted to get excited on the show. I think it's
the 13th. I need to make sure I find some way to watch that.
Nice early birthday present for you.
Yeah, I need to find some way. Now, they better not be tripping though and be skewing it one side or the other. They ain't got but one more championship than us. Don't be tripping.
Them white boys better not get more coverage than us.
Tripping.
Oh goodness.
Okay, did we have something else? Did we need to rant about anything?
I didn't have a rant. I didn't know if you did. I didn't have one for today.
Let me think. I guess I don't have nothing to rant about.
Yeah, because you went 3 or 4 times Friday, so you got it all
I
out.
got a lot out of my system. But the people somebody gonna do something.
Yeah,
somebody gonna do something.
Yeah, we'll give it a week, and we'll come back, and there'll be some more chanting and ranting. I'm sure somebody gonna do something crazy. North Korea gonna practice a bomb and explode.
that. Lord, this man about to have us in the war. But I need to watch this Sean Spicer thing on SNL. Did you see it?
Oh, yes.
Because Melissa been killing it. She's been killing it when she played Mr. Spicer.
She's hilarious.
She got me rolling.
Yeah. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for us today. As always, I'm one of your co-hosts, Brian Mackay, and I am with
T. Happy Monday, Davis.
And this has been the Mackay T Show podcast. Thank you for listening.
This is the Mackay T Show. This is the Mackay T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brian Mackay and T Davis. Yeah. You can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mackay T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mackay T Show.